At 8:30 p.m., right after the first course was served at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, 5 shots rang out. Attendees in tuxedos and gowns instantly dove under their tables, and the ballroom erupted in panic. The attacker in custody was Cole Thomas Allen, a 31-year-old Caltech graduate and recent Teacher of the Month. He carried multiple weapons into the Washington Hilton, the exact same hotel where John Hinckley shot Ronald Reagan in 1981. This represents the 3rd time in 2 years an armed attacker made it within striking distance of Donald Trump. The official response to each of these breaches relies on a familiar script. Agencies describe these as isolated incidents, unpredictable acts of bad luck committed by random, unconnected loners. Treating these 3 breaches as separate flukes ignores the underlying math. We are looking at an n=3 dataset, a sequence of events that requires us to look past the individual shooters and examine the mechanics of the failures themselves. Look at the first data point in Butler, Pennsylvania. Protective security heavily relies on standoff distance, keeping potential threats far enough away that they cannot get a line of sight. Secret Service leadership assigned agents to the high ground overlooking the stage, but then pulled them off. The official explanation offered to Congress was that the roof was too sloped to safely stand on. By vacating that exact piece of high ground, security created a vacuum. Thomas Matthew Crooks utilized the one unguarded elevation that offered a direct line of sight to the podium. The failure at Butler followed a specific administrative choice. By vacating that high ground, they surrendered the decisive line of sight into the rally perimeter. The second data point is the Florida golf course. The Secret Service operates on a layered security model. You establish an inner bubble around the target and an outer ring to flush out threats in the surrounding environment before the target arrives. Ryan Wesley Routh set up a sniper position in the foliage directly adjacent to the fairway. He lay there undetected for half the day, waiting for the former president to walk into his field of fire. Agents only spotted him by catching sight of his rifle barrel protruding from the bushes. The perimeter sweep, the mechanism designed to clear that outer layer, was never effectively executed. Layered security is an abstract concept until the outer ring is enforced. In Florida, that enforcement never happened. This brings us to the third data point, the Washington Hilton. This image shows the type of tight screening funnel used at events like the Correspondents' Dinner. It creates a physical constriction point, forcing everyone through a narrow lane. Cole Allen emerged 50 yards away, breaking into an armed, dead sprint toward the security agents blocking the ballroom. At that speed, a single agent's shift guarantees a collision. Instead, the lane miraculously cleared, allowing him through untouched. A half-dozen security professionals manned a choke point built specifically to keep unauthorized people from passing. Yet, at the exact moment he charged, nobody was physically in his way. A rooftop surrendered, a fence line unchecked, a choke point opened during a sprint. In each instance, the attacker appeared exactly where the protective apparatus was finished, as if working from a highlight reel of the system's remaining vulnerabilities. The repetition of these near misses suggests a systemic vulnerability that goes beyond individual incompetence. If the security perimeter keeps thinning at the exact moment a shooter arrives, we have to consider how these individuals are identifying the specific lapses in Secret Service protocol. These physical breaches are happening alongside a psychological shift. High-level political rhetoric has created a permission structure where extreme actions are increasingly framed as necessary to save democracy. This messaging is reaching unexpected audiences. It is turning highly educated, credentialed professionals like a NASA intern and computer science graduate into willing assassins. Yet the agencies in charge respond to this escalating threat with boilerplate statements. They cite isolated failures and avoid conducting the systemic audits required to find out why the safety net keeps failing. If the security apparatus continues to harden yesterday's failure points while waving away tomorrow's breaches as bad luck, the threat will only grow. We need to stop asking if there will be a fourth attempt and start asking why there wouldn't be.